visual.
That's great.
19 meters up.
That's fine.
Sirius is reading
Thank you.
55 meters from bottom. You have bottom.
Nothing on sonar. We're still above everything.
That's it right there, careful.
What's that, Bob?
That's bottom right there for you.
It is. I was just saying there's...
So on average, this should be about a 45-degree slope.
You've also
Welcome to the seafloor, everybody.
Whoa.
A lot of shrimp.
How cool is that?
come to a stop. You've also drifted back underneath me.
Copy that.
Wow, look at
That
the left
absolutely
there.
looks like shrimp. Plenty of them, and if there's nothing on the sonar, it may well be. Are the sonars saying it's right behind us? It's behind you.
Is Little Herc sonar north up?
Yeah, that's, you're heading up.
Head up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if it carries on like this for the next 11
Something
days, I
taller.
think we're going to be pretty happy, guys, right?
Over.
Just port side.
I told you I was good, but I didn't know I was that good. Actually, we had a lot of help. Thank you for the guys watching in
Still on
Southampton.
port side.
There.
That looks like the possible peak.
Well, we've just come down on the seafloor and we've landed straight away on a structure with a
Just
whole
gonna
bunch of
try to
shrimp
figure
swimming
out
around
how
them.
tall this is, Bobby.
Yeah,
We've just
whenever you're
spun
comfortable,
around,
I'd
so
like
we've
to
actually got
kinda sit on bottom here
the main feature in front of us.
and work on
And
some
that's
of our settings.
Those cobbles down
sonars
there
and such.
could potentially be,
Okay.
I don't know.
Let me get a quick glimpse at the top of this peak.
Is that blue lavas or is that
While
all
you're doing
rubbly
Z-bias,
sulfide? I guess
I'll
we'll find out
adjust
when we get a bit
our
closer. But yeah, lots and lots of shrimp hanging around on the seabed. Very cool. Means we landed right on an area of active fluid flow, I would guess. Haven't seen them up close there, but I think, and a biologist can jump in any time here and correct me that
Don't see any
you know,
significant
they're undoubtedly
peak on,
hydrothermal
video.
shrimp, and we're right in the middle of a hydrothermal field.
Very
So not bad for
interesting hole
beginners.
There.
Tracking is still quite good. Not a lot of smoke here.
So,
Picture's very good.
for those of you ashore and around the planet who have access
Bobby's
to
very
instant
good.
messaging, feel free to start typing in the event log of what it is you think you can see so we can capture this.
Look at that
What a
flow.
beauty.
Wow.
So we are at a depth of, let me see,
What's the temperature reading now?
CTD temperature 4.17.
so depth of 2292 meters,
There's the top.
and we're at the top
All right. So
of an active spire covered in shrimp, we believe. Wait one, the heading is 192 degrees. It's in the chat room. 2292 meters, heading 192, sitting looking at the top of the spire. Oh, I'm a happy
Alright,
bunny
so-
today. Can we do this every
you
day?
want to start messing with your settings, Bobby? I'm going to try to dial in Z-bias. To do that, I'm going to back away from this a little bit because I think I'm flying in a thermal.
So I think, you know, round of applause to the navigator here, and also to our friends in the UK that told us where would be a good place to start. Anybody from the auto team that's listening in, thank you very much as well. We came down on where we were indicated should be the tallest point on the map, and I think that's exactly where we landed. So we have a plan now that we start working out from this later, but we're just in really good shape.
Chris, it suggests the whole mound might be hydrothermal.
So pilot, do you think this is the top of the mound?
This is the top. Nothing else on sonar.
Okay.
It ends in a chimney.
That's cool.
Yeah, nice shooting, Carl. The navigation, I think we can count this as the start of our spiral, right?
Yeah, I think so. There's nothing else on the ROV sonar all around. So it looks like the mound is topped by this spire. Would you like to start dropping official waypoints? Should I call this MCR001?
I think that's a very good place to start, and this is a very good place to drop that waypoint.
Okay.
Now this is Dave.
Nav, Dave's gone.
Yes, Dave?
Yeah, you guys might want to talk to Brian to see if you can get a white balance on all these shrimp.
Copy that. Do you hear that, pilot?
I did.
All right.
Did you copy that, Brian? How do you feel about white balancing on shrimp? Okay. Let's find a nice patch, shall we? I'm gonna use this
Dave,
patch
who do
right
I
here
ask to
if
get the
can.
lasers turned on for scale?
It's nice and large.
Co-pilot, can we get the lasers on for scale also?
I had a current, so I'm going to turn and go up current.
Okay. Okay, guys, ashore, we're going to put the lasers back on in a while, but what we're actually going to do is take the advantage of all these shrimp that are around to get a good white balance to set the cameras up. So we'll do that first, then we'll get the lasers. And then for those of you who aren't watching the instant messaging, the height of the mound is going to come later. We know what the depth is at the top of the mound, and as we spiral outwards, we'll work our way down. So you can
I can bring the
find
shrimp
that out
in
later.
view. Will that work for you, Brian?
Just so you know now, though, we're at
Okay.
2295 meters with the vehicle right now, and the top of the mound was at 2292. So the top of the spire
Not
right in front of us
terribly
must be
white,
about
are
a
they?
3-meter tall chimney,
All right. Well, you go for zoom if you want to.
and that's beautiful. You can see those little white patches on the backs of their heads, and that's the part that's the equivalent of the eye sensor on regular shrimp. Okay, Paul, if you're on the line, why don't you tell us what you're looking at right now?
Okay, this is a mass of shrimp, and a zoacid fish. If you look carefully on the back of the shrimp, you can see the dorsal organ, and if you look very carefully, if you've got real close up, it's very difficult with the diffuse flow going through. In the dorsal organ, there's two lobes, as in the shrimp in the Atlantic, but there's also two sort of hollows in the dorsal organ, and this makes it quite distinctive from Rimicaris exoculata in the Atlantic. So basically you are looking at a new species here.
Wow. And all looks like all the
Video
same
you can zoom on
species at a
Sirius
first
if you'd like
glance.
as well.
Would you agree?
At the first glance, yes, Chris.
Sorry there, Brian. I think I backed out on you a bit.
I'm just looking, if we, they are more or less the same size by the looks of it.
No rush.
And we
Little
should
Hurt
also
Camp
look
first.
out for any larger shrimp. Often with Rimicaris, for every million Rimicaris, you'll find a couple of larger shrimp that are often predatory.
There's a pink one
but
just top left corner,
yes,
just went
look
out
at-
of view.
What's interesting is watching the fish swim in and out. Did you see the pink one
Yes.
just then? I think that's
Alright,
a different
Can we
species.
come wide for a second?
Oh, there's another
Brian?
one top right. That's all that yellow color we're seeing as well. That's
How's the
all
white
weathered
balance?
sulfide. So that's, now I'm getting my eye in. That was probably what we were flying over as we approached this thing as well. So it's probably a massive sulfide deposit here as well. That's big.
Hey, video, are we set up on the white balance on Little Herc?
It's interesting just how patchy, though there's shrimp all over this edifice.
Copy that.
Why
Alright.
are those patches occurring? They're so dense
Well,
in so certain places.
I reckon that's going to be where the active
Alright,
fluid
what's
flow
the,
is. That's a pretty
start
old
plan
looking
now?
chimney, the dark, the brown and stuff like that.
Well, we'd
Okay.
like It looks like there's about a 30-meter offset. Tracking showing you 30 meters south of the peak.
Copy that.
So we just like to make sure we have Sirius pretty much over the peak, which looks like we're
Come
pretty
wide on
close.
Sirius, please.
So
Alright, let me get back to your side of this thing, Bobby.
I like that.
Carl,
So-
I don't know if you're the right one to ask, but before we move off, the other thing that'd be nice to do would just be to just do a vertical up and down this spine.
So I'm,
you're pretty much looking at the top now?
yeah, it looks like it's due south of me.
Okay.
Yeah. What's your comfort level with coming down a little, Bobby?
I'm happy to come down.
I could use a little more tether.
You got it.
Say maybe 5 meters.
I can come down more
In
than
terms
that
of
if you
size,
want.
absolutely, yeah. Which is why, you know, when you think about the size of the tag, there's a whole different sets of different areas that are active, not just the central mound. There was the site that used to be called the Kremlin that got drilled in by the IODP. So, again, there could be lots more to see, but starting in the middle is a really good place to start.
So why don't we get you
This is all dead chimney right in front of
up and down,
Little Herc right now.
and then
You can
we'll
actually
come
see the
back
curvature,
and
the
throw
bit in the middle.
lasers on.
It's kind of a smoothing. That's the hollowed out. That's
Alright.
that's
How's
old
that sound to you?
upflow pipe.
Sure, I'd
with
like
the
to
rubble
check
around the
in with
outside.
back row. Just to make sure we're doing what we're required to do.
That's what they had requested,
Okay.
was up and down the spire.
Okay, up we go. You copy what we're setting up here, video?
So what we're doing, guys, for those of you
Okay, so I'm
watching
just gonna
ashore, is
try
we're
to
basically down at
fly up the
2,300
chimney,
meters just
get
now,
kind of a wide shot.
and what we're just going to do is just
So if you could just play with the iris, and I'll try to keep the light in. Thank you.
pilot. Can we get the lasers on for this?
Got him, Bobby?
Okay, so we have the lasers on there. That's 10 centimeters, unless anybody
Okay,
shouts at
co-pilot,
me
you think if
for
you move
scale.
10 meters due south, you'll be right over the top?
And what we're doing here is we're just starting off at
think that'll take
2298
me
meters
there.
now.
Okay.
And we're going to work our way up just to get the height
Well,
of
we'll
this.
just note that, and then eventually we'll be moving 30 meters south, so we'll just make that 40.
Again, video, feel free to zoom in Sirius whenever you get a chance. That I can. Try to line you up a little bit more center as well. Yeah, for most of these, Brian, yeah, focus on Little Herc, but if you get a chance to reach over and you want to zoom in, a lot of times it'll be okay.
And one of the things to have this much sulfide everywhere tells you that this place must have been active for a long time, which kind of fits with the whole theory of this is a full controlled hydrothermal system. Once those big cracks start cracking down
that's
into
a
the
neat picture.
seafloor, the fluid can just keep percolating in the same place for a long time, and that's what it takes to build up all this stuff. You can see some darker sulfides now. The black there, that's the fresher sulfide. That's stuff that's recently broken away.
Wow.
The fact that it's clear fluid, not black smoker, tells you that it's some hundreds of degrees. If you look at the Sirius
Coming up to the shrimp on your right.
video right now, you can see that's a wide chasm.
Copy that.
And the temperature on the ROV is reading 4 or 5 or 4 degrees Celsius, so it's actually a little bit warmer even where the ROV is looking down on this. But that's a big hole. And I wonder if that's actually the conduit. That's huge if it is.
Is that current
We're spinning
pushing
around
to
a
the
little
right
as we're
there?
coming up. I should let
Yeah,
you
it
guys
is.
know that. So we're now,
Roger.
we were
Got
heading
no lateral.
160, we've spun around about 45 degrees, we're now on a heading of 122.
I was going to be very impressed.
So we were facing due south with
I wish.
the ROV, and we're now looking southeast.
Looking good.
Copy that.
Coming up to the top.
All right.
Now facing pretty much due east. This is the west side of the spire as we come up. I hope we've got some people who like shrimp watching today.
Is there any way you can come back down that one? Keep continuing up. Sorry.
Not right back down the way I just came, no.
There we are, right at the top. We can see the view from Sirius, and we're at 2290.
Lasers coming off.
So that's getting on for a 10-meter high chimney, 8 meters.
All right.
Yeah, so if you back up,
Yeah, I'm backing toward you. Coming down.
you're going to keep height. If you're coming straight back, keep height. Yeah.
Dave, what's the size of Little Herc? Is that like a meter across?
All right. Now this one's for the footage without the lasers.
And it struck me that that hole in the side of the spire was comparable to the size of
So
Little
for
Herc.
our first couple of short ship moves, they're just about 10 minutes long each. I was thinking we'd just move at 0.1. Minimize the swing.
Copy that. Stand by one.
Yeah.
Hey, Dave, this is Pilot.
Go ahead, Tom.
Hey, Dave, are you interested in getting another flyby of this with the lasers off?
No, we're going to try to keep moving today and cover this area as best we can, and then tomorrow we're going to come back and do all the pretty pictures.
All right, sounds good. All right.
Saving it for the weekend.
All right, so I'm just going to back up a little bit here, Bobby. If you could work with Brian to get a quick zoom and confirm that we've still got 2 verticals, then we'll set up and get moving.
Whenever you are.
Carl, this is Chris. Can I distract you for a moment?
I see 2
Still got 'em.
verticals.
All right,
Certainly,
that's all
Chris.
we need.
Yeah, can I just check that you've reoriented the navigation now, or are we just going to
Okay,
be
for
working
what?
with a 30-meter
for what?
offset all day?
Tom, I'm going to switch cameras on you if that's
Yeah,
okay.
we don't have the
Yeah,
ability
that's
to enter that offset,
Switch to
so we're just going to know that we are about
quick look on my HMIs.
40 meters. The vehicle is actually 40 meters north of where it shows.
Video. This is co-pilot.
Very good. So you're just going to keep a track of making the
Yeah.
line
we can
lengths and
work
distances.
on Iris.
for us?
Yeah.
Just to see.
Yeah.
It's going
if
to
our
save me doing the
HMIs are
mental
on.
arithmetic, right?
Yeah, right now, Sirius is actually right about, you see where my mouse cursor is? So we'll just move the first move 40 meters south, which will put Sirius 30 meters south of the spire, and then we'll just do each move as we go.
Very good. Thank you. And can I leave that to you to move off when the vehicle's ready?
Yes,
Perfect.
we'll
That's
get going
1,
as
2,
soon as it's
3.
ready.
Okay, if you just
4,
sing out, let me know when we're about to start that. I can let the guys ashore know.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see. Looks like I can see the cone
Yeah.
out there.
The intersection on both of the frame members looks like it.
All right. We got 6 HMIs. Coming back to you, Tom, and then I'm good to go.
All right, first direction is south now.
That's correct. We'll be moving 40
Thanks,
meters
video.
to the south.
Okay.
Let me know when you're lined up and ready.
I think as soon as Bobby is set up with his cameras, I'm ready
Okay.
to go.
There. Back to main. I'm ready to go.
All right, I'll call on the move.
All right. Which way do you want me to go around this thing, Bobby?
Looks like current
Bridge, this is
takes
RVNAV.
to the west.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
So I would come
Hey,
about
could I
on the
call in our
west side.
first ship move?
I
All right.
concur.
Bearing 180, distance 40 meters at 0.1 knots.
Copy that.
Radio, can you
Range
zoom on
40
us,
meters,
please?
180
Get a
degrees
message flying
at
over this.
0.1 knots.
That's correct, thank you.
Right, starting now.
Looking good there.
Watch leader and pilots, the ship should start its move right now.
Copy that. With this, the current will just carry me past it.
Sounds good.
Okay, for those of you who are sure, we're basically starting off the first move now. I apologise for those of you who would rather have spent the whole day just looking at the spire, but we know this is just the first dive of 11, and we're not quite sure what else there is out there, so what we're going to start doing now is our systematic survey spiralling outwards. We're just setting up. You can see on the, for those of you who had the view from Sirius, you can see Little Herc near the top of the mound. We've got some footage in the bag of that already today, but what we're going to start doing now is spiraling outwards to see what else there is around the perimeter and how things change as we move away from this central spire. A good first point is going to be, or our first move is going to be to head to the south. We're going to be going about 40 meters at about 1/10 of a knot, so not too fast. Go for a nice slow drive and see what we see as we go.
Nav, co-pilot, we didn't see any big temperature changes over that guy.
No, the temperature's been about 4.2 since we got to the bottom.
Because this ship move should be taking me directly over.
Oh, on your CTD?
No, I was just curious.
Without the lateral, I don't really have the ability to just hold there, so I thought I'd come over here a little bit, look at the ground.
Do you have a sense of where the
Careful,
current's
get down
coming
to the
from?
bottom on your starboard side.
Dave, I guess one thing we made difficult for ourselves here is we're going to be flying downhill most of the day.
Yeah, half of it will be down and half up.
Feel like you're moving, Bobby?
Maybe. Maybe just starting.
See the current running?
Yeah, which way do you think that's going?
All of the lateral that you're seeing is current. All I'm doing is holding ahead.
So it's pushing you to starboard, so it's a current basically north to south.
Probably running south.
Yeah.
Hard to tell around this chimney though, there's a lot of flow going on here.
Now I'm starting to move.
Copy that.
So once Sirius is over the top of the chimney, we should drop about 20 meters during this move.
For any geologists listening in, one of the questions we had come in from Tim is whether this really could all be sulfide that we're looking at, or whether some of the stuff may actually be igneous rock. I know my first impression when I came over was looking at cobbles was that they looked like the scale and size of pillow basalts when we were first approaching the sulfide. When it got up close, that yellowy brown colour is kind of distinctive of weathered sulfide, and that just disappearing out of the ROV field of view right now is probably a dead chimney.
Okay.
I think, I mean, we'll
Starting
come
to
back to this
swing
and
up
look in
and
detail
over it.
tomorrow, but I think this could potentially all be sulfide. But today ain't the day when we're going to stop and zoom in on that. We want to get the ship moving and cover some ground. And the steep sides as well, you just don't get volcanic eruptions that would actually build up those kind of steep slopes. But it's a huge deposit if that's true. Yeah. Okay, let me see. I'll have a word with the pilot, see if we can zoom in on any of that. This is Chris. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
We're wondering if we can get a zoom in on what those little white patches are on the rocks there, whether they're shrimp or little biota of any kind. Can we get that done while we're moving?
I think so. Which white patches are you looking at?
Little white dots, I think.
Yeah, the little white dots
Scattered
all over the
throughout.
rocks right in front.
Okay, stand by.
So we're zooming in there, Paul, but I'm not sure if you're going to be any the wiser.
Let me get set up, then we'll get really close.
Whatever they are, they ain't big. Do you want a laser on just for scale? There we go. Well, they're small compared to 10 centimeters.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if those are small snails. So I don't know if Tim's got a view on that from Woods Hole.
I think maybe you can
Okay,
give us
thanks
a
for that
zoom.
zoom. We're good now.
Try to look at the ones back there, Brian.
Yeah, Paul, it's hard to see from the video here with that kind of resolution from seeing snails. I thought they looked like pits or something, but I see you're zooming in now. I can't be sure from the video here.
And set up very
Thanks,
well.
Tim. I've got the same. It's pretty difficult here as well.
You know, I can't resolve any features.
It
even
might
right
just
here
be
in the back.
inclusions in the rock.
Whatever they are, they're tiny
Yeah, I was
little
just saying here,
things.
it does look kind of shell-like, but
Oh, thanks for trying,
well,
Brian.
it's hard to see here.
Sorry that
It looks like it's just
all over the place.
part of the rock, actually. So it looks like to me.
All right, could you come full wide, please?
Well,
So it actually looks like I'm going to swing to the port side of the tower. If not right over it.
Yeah, you don't look like you're going quite right over it. Thanks, Brian.
My camera's looking straight down right now.
So time for me to push south?
Yep.
Okay.
Not too much though. You don't want to pull tether straight.
No. ahead, Dave.
What we want to do is get up above the bottom and try to get a broad view, stay within sight of the bottom, but we don't want to get too much of the detail. We want to do a cursory look with just enough detail to make sure we're not missing things. And you also want to try to scoot around a little bit left to right while the ship is moving and catching up to you. So let's try to get as much visual as possible so we're covering as much of the area to characterize what's here, okay?
Copy that. We will stay in survey mode today.
Yeah, Roger, thank you.
So I'm passing over the plume right now.
I see that.
I'm also,
Wandering a little bit east along the base of the chimney here.
that's fine, I'm coming up. So that our tether doesn't go dragging through it.
No.
Copy that.
No.
So point 2 is quite slow.
Yeah, we haven't really got started yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could bump it up to point 2. I just didn't want to swing around too much.
Are we doing point 1 right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's... I'm not sure what the right call is there.
Yeah, the ship's already done. It looks about 35 of the 40, so.
We are moving.
Yes. Well, this will all get easier as we spiral out and have longer moves.
How you feeling there, Bobby?
Feel great, how are you? I believe I'm over it now. I'm still going to wait a little while before I come down, but
Yeah, I think you are too, but the tether looks clear still. That was my point of concern, merely.
Right, so we're, yep. Vehicle's facing east. Sirius is heading south. As we start our move, we can see that there are these little clusters every now and then, like there's one right ahead right now, where there's a dense aggregation of shrimp,
it'd be better to get you to push out, Tom.
which is almost certainly a cue that that's where there's
Yeah.
fluid flowing out right there in that little hole. So probably it's a big rubble mound. If it's anything like tag that we're familiar with,
So I don't really have good
then we
eyes
have
on
these
our
areas
tether.
where in the giant edifice as a whole, and you can see if you look in the gloom off in the distance there, you can see little patches of white, basically one dead ahead there.
I'm going to turn and go down
That in the
back
distance
first.
would be other places where there's active fluid flow. Again, in the far distance, you can see another patch. So it's like a big giant castle with little spires with where the fluid can get out the ground. Yeah. The depth here right now is 2298. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with requests from our instant messages. And the biologists on the line, don't forget to sing out if you want to drop a waypoint in a particular shrimp patch you want to come back and look at in the future. Okay. Navigator, can we drop a waypoint just here, please, for those shrimp?
Yes, dropping waypoint.
Those listening on, we're just dropping a waypoint now. If Jameson, do you want to put in your comment to go with it? So here we are. We're generally on our. What's actually happening for people watching ashore is basically that Sirius is going to be heading in a straight line due south, and as you can see on the Sirius feed looking down, what we're having Little Herc do is actually zigzag from side to side and do a kind of a slalom walk as we go down. So we can see what's off to either side.
How are you doing there, Tom?
The Sirius lines are going to be about 15 meters apart,
Good, I think.
but with a 100-meter tether on the vehicle, Little Herc can actually swim out to either side as we go.
I've decided to
I'll try and
make
keep
the
you
turns through
oriented.
the uphill portion, so I keep the camera on
The,
the ground. Don't bang the tether on the hill.
and one of the things here, of course, is that we're actually working out from the top of a hill, which is about the worst way you could actually try and see things. So that's the advantage of being able to spin around with the ROV. We're currently at a depth of 2300. Still heading south as a package, but the vehicle is actually looking, actually it's just spinning around to southeast right now. And this still looks, that yellow telltale color tells me this is all still sulfide rubble we're passing over.
So the ship has stopped. Bobby, you feel like Sirius is still moving?
Yep.
All right, we'll wait a couple minutes and then we can call in the next move, which will be to the east. A very short one, 15 meters.
Okay, so the ship has completed its first 40-meter move. This is as far south as we're going on this first line. Well, as far as the ship's going. Sirius is going to catch up, and then we'll get ready to head off. We're going to make our first left turn of the day. It's going to be a bit like a NASCAR track. We're only turning left today, folks. Though, of course, the ROV is going to keep working from one side to the other. But the next plan is the Sirius is going to start. We'll move Sirius to the east, and we'll start going across the bottom of the spire. And then we'll head up the east side, and we'll just work our way out progressively from there, keep spiraling outwards. Keep you all oriented, the depth here is 2314. That's the ROV depth.
Ready to move
Oh yeah?
whenever Tom is.
Okay, I'll call it in. Bridge, this is RVNF.
Yes, go ahead.
Hey, could we have a ship move bearing 090, 15 meters at 0.1 knots?
Copy that. 50 meters, 090 degrees at 0.1 knots.
There's the
Thank you.
chimney
Sounds good.
RV
Starting now.
there. I'm looking due east. So we're going to
Watch
go
leader, this is
right
Nav.
by it again. Underneath me. I can come down a little. I'm going to try to keep eyeballs on this chimney over here. I'll give you 5 meters.
You don't need to come
That's
down
right,
much
yeah.
more. I'm going to come back towards you, Tom.
If you have the little
Yeah.
sonar screen, you can see
Gonna stay there.
both Little Herc in yellow and Sirius in red beginning to move along to the right. And water depth, let me see. Just going to check. I should be able to read where the altitude. And is the altimeter, is that for Sirius?
I'm going to take
Or
the
the
camera
ROV?
off you for a second, Bobby. Okay.
Okay. Okay, so to get a water depth here, Sirius is at 2297 at an altitude of 18, so that's 23. Help me, somebody.
It's nice
15.
view, co-pilot.
2315 for water depth.
Yeah,
The ROV's at 2308.
I'm kind of dancing with this thing.
Watch
Sirius is heading east. Go ahead, Nav.
Oh, I was just gonna say, if you look, the co-pilot's has swung Sirius's camera onto the top of the spire, so it's a nice view. Looking at the hill.
Very good, thank you.
Yep.
So that's heading, so Sirius, yeah, Sirius is on a heading of due north pretty much.
Yeah.
Good, so everyone can get that. That was Sirius
Back.
looking at the top of the spire, and then it's spinning back round to the east in the direction that we're actually running the survey line right now. Meantime, little Herc's down at the seafloor. There he is. Driving over sulfide with the hill dropping away down to our right, which is to our south as we're pointing east. And on the Sirius view, you can...
Yeah.
Bobby, this is Chris in the back row. Can I just ask you, what's the inclination of the camera right now? Is it pointing straight out in front?
No, it's reading about 50 degrees down from horizontal.
Very good, thank you.
At that cliff wall to your left, Bobby.
Yeah, it's the one I just came down.
Yeah. Alright, if you're comfortable, I'm going to spin and take one more look to see where the chimney's at, and then I can turn and come down and give you a little more tether.
Go ahead.
Not where we are now. Let me see if we can zoom in. Hey, Bobby, can we zoom in on any of these patches of shrimp to see if we can see any diffuse flow?
Of course.
So we're just going to zoom in to see where, I mean, my guess would be that must be what's going on, but let's test the theory.
Yep, go ahead, Brian.
I don't see any Schlieren effect anywhere there.
In the bottom of the screen, I saw a little
Me
shimmer.
neither.
Can we pan
Where-
down a little?
Yep.
Yeah, there's some pale coloration just below the left laser. There's a grey in the rock if you look through the shrimp. You can see grey discoloration. That's fresher sulfide there, so I would guess there's a little hole in the ground just bottom of the screen.
Can you come wide video?
Hmm.
I'm getting pushed off this.
Okay, thanks guys.
Still think the white dots might be snails in that patch there.
Alright, still looking due east at you, Bobby.
Okay.
67 degrees down till you're right in the middle of the frame. Tether is good.
So we're continuing east. The water depth here now is 2320 from the sum of Sirius depth and altitude. The little Herc is at 2313, so 7 meters off bottom, which makes sense. You can see very steep terrain here, so we're basically still flying generally to east, just swinging around the ROV around to look to the north or more northeast now. Heading towards the eastern end of this line. So basically all makes sense that there's a big spire just disappearing out of field of view on the left of the little Herc feed. It all kind of fits with just one giant conical mound. And still, just look at all that sulfide rubble down
ROV
down
now
beneath
bridge?
us.
Bridge RV nav.
Yes, we finish our move.
Thank you, Bridge.
Alright.
Pilots, the ship has stopped. We can wait a few minutes till we settle out.
Copy that.
And once we're ready, we will be heading north, uphill.
You good if I steal your camera again, Bobby?
Real quick before you do that, how much tether do I got? Looks like I'm starting to pull it tight, and I'm kind of up against. Need to come up. Never mind.
Yeah, stand by. I'm curious if we head north, where I'm going. That's north. Hey, Carl?
Yes?
What are the odds of modifying the search pattern? Sirius, if it goes north right now, is going right over the top of this chimney. Do we want to bring it over to the east a little farther and bring it around the eastern side? Or do you just want to...
We could certainly do that. It should, once you swing to the end of this move, you should be 15 meters to the east of the spire. But, you know, plus or minus 5 meters, you could get really close to it.
Alright, well,
But
willing to give it a shot. I just thought I'd check.
no, we can extend this move 10 meters and then we'll just head slightly northwest to
Okeanos,
get
this
back
is
on the
Osek.
survey.
When you're reporting your water depth,
That'll
is
bring
that
us farther
the
away from
Sirius
the
depth
spire.
or is that the
Probably be safer.
ROV depth?
Yeah, probably.
When I'm reporting water depth, what I'm reporting there is the sum of the Sirius depth and
Okay, so you want me to
altimeter.
call another
Was it just asked? So I got the
10 meters
2321.
to the east?
What I'll try
Make
and do
sure we're
is when I
past the
report
spire.
ROV depth,
That
I'll say
makes
exactly
sense.
that. That's
Yeah,
the depth
okay.
on the ROV vehicle, or where it's at.
That makes sense to you, bud?
So I'll try and keep to that. ROV depth is specifically the depth reading on the ROV. If I try and give you water depth, that's trying to give you an idea of where on the map we are for what contour line we're at. Trick I learnt a long, long time ago from Susan Humphreys.
Bridge, this is RV
was
nav.
when all else fails, if you know what depth you're at and what orientation you're at, when you're
yes,
looking
go
at
ahead.
something on the seafloor,
Hey, could we extend the last move so we'll have a
that's how you can always
ship
get back
move
to the same
bearing
place.
090, distance 10 meters
That's it. Thanks for clearing that up.
at 0.1 knots.
No problem.
Copy that. 10 meters, 090 degrees at 0.1 knot.
Copy.
Starting now.
Okay, the ship is moving 10 more meters to the east.
Copy that.
It's a good question. They could just be rotted insides of, could be really, really weathered lavas, for that matter. Bobby, could we just spin back to that little white rock we were looking at in the bottom left field? Just have a look at that. If we could have a zoom as well, please.
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, that looks like, well, I don't know what that looks like. Grey and old and gnarly stuff. A silvery grey colour? Or you think that's elemental silver, Paul, and we're all going to be very rich people? Oh yeah, there we go. Pirates of the Caribbean. Johnny Depp will be on the line any minute. That looks like very weathered stuff. Well, Mike was wondering whether they were Let's see if Mike or Bobby join in and give us any input from Rhode Island.
Cut away from it.
Thanks, Bobby. You know, Bobby's
up-
just asked the same thing of whether that could be carbonate. Well, that'd be cool. And that was...
There we go. Go ahead, back in video.
Yeah, but low temperature ultramafic hosted hydrothermal fields also precipitate some carbonates as well as hydroxides, so...
I'm gonna
I
have
mean,
to
the stuff we've seen earlier today
bail
was
here in a little bit
high
video.
temperature, but
You're pretty good, actually.
that
Bob.
was...
I look like a wall.
but it's not to say there hasn't been past generations of different
Yeah,
kinds of growth.
there's a
The
wall
brown
to your
stuff
left.
tells me there's a lot of iron on the outside.
Come on.
It's not a big wall, though. Just a rock pile.
If they're on the party line, aren't they?
Alright, so this is my view northward right now.
Okay, so we finished the extended line to the east.
Yes, we did.
That looks like a Galatheid going at the bottom of the screen just now.
Yep, I see that, Galatheid.
Co-pilot ready.
All right.
Pilot ready.
Bridge, this is RVNF.
Yes, go ahead.
Hey, could I have a ship move bearing 354 degrees, distance 45 meters, speed 0.2 knots?
All right. So range 45 meters. Can you repeat it, the bearing again?
Bearing 354,
354 at 0.2 knots.
yes.
Starting now.
So we're now facing north with Sirius, just spinning around from looking west to looking north with Little Herc. There's a patch of shrimp there. If anybody wants a waypoint, now's the time to let me know. And we are at ROV depth of 2309 meters, heading 313 degrees as we look at this. And Sirius is at a depth of 2300, altitude of 25 meters, and we're just getting ready to move forward.
Tether pull.
Okay.
Trying to line up with the shrimp patch a little bit better.
So we are moving at 0.2 knots, heading 354. Will get us back onto our original spiral.
Copy that. Yeah, that leftward movement, I think, is all tether pull.
Carl, can we drop a waypoint here, please?
Would you like to call it?
Shrimp patch.
Can we get a snap zoom video just right in here? They're all being turned around. All fighting for that patch right there. Alright, come on. Gotta keep on moving.
Carl, so you know, if you just, the main focus for your entries is just the MCR and the number, so that should have been 003, I believe. And what I'm asking people to do is type entries into the event log as they go for annotation.
Okay, so they'll have their own descriptions.
Yeah, that
Chris,
saves
can
us
you zoom in
cluttering up
onto
too
that
much.
rock face?
Yep. Okay, I'll just note the
It's going
number
out to
then.
the bottom right at the moment.
Pilot, can we zoom in on the rock face down to the bottom right, please?
Bottom. You're gonna have to help me with bottom right here. Which rock you're wishing to go for?
Okay, I'm doing this virtually from somebody else's request, but I think off to the right with your lasers. I'm guessing the dark brown rock to the right.
Kind of at the top of the screen.
No, the one just right there with
In
the
the centre of the screen now.
center of the screen now, please.
Okay. Video, come on.
Yeah, it's all shrimp.
looked
Things
like-
didn't look quite
looked a
like
lot
shrimp
closer
from a
than I
distance,
thought
but
it
they do
was.
close up.
Alright, let's try this again.
I just saw an instant message from Bobby saying she wanted to look to the left. Is that still something you'd like? Squeak now. Okay, thanks, Bobby. So just so everybody knows what we're doing, we are heading north with Sirius. The ROV is also heading north, just looking a little bit out to northeast.
Yeah, it's going to tend to push it into the cliff there. You already
Come
know
back to the
that.
north. So dead ahead of us there. The ROV is at a depth of 2306. Water depth here is still 2321, 2322.
Okay, I'm gonna start pushing forward.
Copy that. I'm at 60 degrees on the camera. Gonna bring it up quick, check the whereabouts of the rocks. Coming off you for a second, brother.
Okay.
Look good. Watch the tether on the rocks there.
This seems a lot nicer going uphill now.
So as Mike Cheadle just pointed out online, this is still very angular. There's a lot of angular blocks to all this stuff.
What do you look like to the left there, Tom?
Coming up to a much higher aggregation of
That's
shrimp
a good
again.
question, Bobby, stand by.
Coming up
Look
the
like
side
they're
here,
getting a little
that
closer
should be
to
the
the
main
state.
spire, I think, just off to the left there.
A little bit. I could pick up the altitude a bit.
Beautiful shots of Little Herc from Sirius right now. Sirius is pointing 235 degrees, so it's looking southwest. While Sirius is still facing north. So that spire there, I'm not sure how tall that individual lump is, but it's... Let's see. I'm thinking this is worth a waypoint as well, everybody, because there's a whole cluster of shrimp you can see in Sirius just here. This would be a good place to come back to.
Well, I'm pretty happy right here, Bobby. I'm looking northwest right now.
Yeah, let's get you back looking towards our heading.
Copy that.
Carl, is this a sensible place to drop a waypoint, or are we not significantly different from the last place?
I think I'm going to slide
No, we've
right
moved
by.
There was a
10 or
request
15
over here to
meters
drop a
north.
waypoint.
I'll drop one here.
Okay, that's good. There's a large cluster of shrimp just there.
So that's north.
Yeah, watch lead. I think that's the back of the main tower there that we just saw.
Yeah, eastern side of it. Looks good.
That's something in the distance. What is that?
Looks like shrimp.
So we're heading north now. We must be... Yeah, there's actually a second high on the sonar just off to our left. And that's on the Little Herc sonar, right?
Yeah, this is the mound just below the peak spire that we kind of came down on.
So this is north of the peak spire, right?
Yes.
This is the second spire. Any idea of the distance to the north? Is that like 5 meters, 10 meters?
Yeah, I would say 10 meters about. We can explore it a bit and drop a target to get a better idea.
Let's do that when we think we're as close as we're getting to it.
Yeah.
RV nav bridge.
Bridge, this is RV now.
Yeah, we finished our move.
Thank you, Bridge.
What do you have this as, Carl? This is a second mound?
I have it as just a bit north of the spire and a little bit lower, but I mean basically connected.
Yeah, I'm calling this a shoulder of the spire.
Shoulder's a
on
good
the
word for it,
northeast
yes.
side.
Yeah, I think once we're on top of it, we can, the only thing on sonar will be the spire.
Lots of shimmering flow there. No wonder there's plenty of shrimp as well.
Yeah, according to tracking, we're just 15 meters to the east of where we hit bottom, which is where we're supposed to be
Okay,
to do our 15-meter spiral.
excellent. Can we drop a waypoint here, please?
Sure.
So that'd be waypoint 5 we're dropping there.
Yes.
Beautiful. I think that deserves, yeah. That's more than just a shoulder, guys. That's its own structure. So this is where we drop waypoint 5, Carl, is that correct?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah, tracking shows it about 20 meters to the northeast of the spire, the peak of the spire.
This is a from where we landed. We're about 20 meters from the central spire, and it's a whole second tall edifice. We'll check the exact height shortly, but this is at 2305 meters, so it's quite a bit deeper. We're getting on for 10 meters deeper than the main chimney, and what we can see is a sulfide, the browny yellow chimney, must be about a meter wide, going by those lasers that are 10 centimeters apart. A lot of clear fluid coming out of there, which is probably certainly over 100 degrees Celsius, I would guess, less than 300, probably inside that chimney. And then where the shrimp are living is probably down a more reasonable temperature for them to inhabit. But that's what we've got, is thousands of shrimp climbing around the outside of that stuff. They're almost certainly congregating where there's bare rock, is probably where the rock is too thick for the warm fluid to get out from inside. And then where the shrimp are congregating is going to be where there's the fresh fluid with its chemical nutrient that they can take advantage of, coming out through the walls of the chimney. Well, what we actually have is there's
Do you think you still have eyes on
fluid circulating from depth
the main one?
that's coming up through this sulfide chimney, basically getting heated up by hot rock at depth from whatever origin. That remains to be determined.
This will be interesting to see.
And then it's basically coming up, precipitating this mineral material.
Should be southwest.
We actually can't even guarantee what that is, whether it's sulfide or carbonate. I'd been presuming it was sulfide up until now, but that may be wrong even. But where the fluid's coming out, there's stuff there that the shrimp are taking advantage of, or the shrimp together with the bacteria that they host in a symbiotic relationship, then basically making a living out of energy from inside the earth down at the bottom of the seafloor.
The main chimney should be southwest, about 20 meters.
It's just that way on sonar as well.
Oh, actually from Sirius, yeah, it would just be west.
Yeah, west-southwest,
It
about
looks
20
looks
meters.
south of me,
Yeah.
so it looks like it'd be south-southwest for
Yeah.
you, which is right where we kind of saw the start of it.
Bobby, can we get an idea of the height
Okay,
of that
so
thing
the
we're looking
ship
at in
is
the ROV?
stopped. I don't know how much
Absolutely.
longer we'll swing.
All right.
You gonna measure it with the lasers?
So what's my depth right there? 2303.7.
2303. Camera's tilted down a little bit.
Yeah. I just need to get the lasers on the same place. There we go. 2303.7.
I call it 4 meters.
2306.7. About 3 meters.
3 to 4 meters.
Oh, what's that?
Watch lead. This is
Oh,
pilot.
that's really interesting.
Got a little British tag down there.
Yep, that's a marker from the James Cook Cruise 44. That was one that was dropped with their Hibis camera system when it did its line through here about a year ago.
That this little tower here, we measured about 3 meters.
Got it, thank you.
Okay, Nav, this is co-pilot.
Yes, co-pilot?
Just about stop sliding here.
Sounds about right. So our next move will be 30 meters to the west. So whenever you're ready. It should bring us around to the north of the spire.
Yep. All right, pilot's ready.
Co-pilot's right. That's
Okay.
west. Only 30 meters now?
Yes. Because we just did two 15-meter north-south, so we're
Oh.
only...
Okay. Let me take eyeballs off you one more time, Bobby.
Bridge, this is RVNF.
Yes, go ahead.
Could I get a ship move bearing 270, distance 30 meters, speed 0.2 knots?
All right, we have a move 30 meters, 27 degrees at 0.2 knots.
Okeanos,
Copy.
this is OSEC. We're no longer
Starting now.
receiving any audio from you. Just want to make sure that you're still transmitting on the party line.
Yep, I'm here. I was just lost in thought. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you just fine.
Okay, good. So we were just at the end of the line. Actually, I think I probably was just talking to the guys in the front row, but we were just checking out the height of that last chimney. Maybe you didn't get that, but yeah, I was typed it in. It was basically from 230.3.7 at the top to 230.6 at the 0.6 at the bottom, so about a 3-meter tall, that secondary chimney. And we are heading west now, so we've just started line 4.
Copy that.
And I've
Thanks.
entered the waypoint accordingly, or the, not waypoint, but the entry in the
Are you
log.
planning to come up here, Bobby?
Sorry?
Are you planning on coming up here?
No, it's just easier for me to go uphill when we're doing that 10-meter kind of back and forth.
Okay. Well, if you're
So
going to
you're
go much higher, I'm going to have to start coming up.
No, I plan on turning around now here. After I get eyes on whatever this patch is. Right
Watch
here.
leader, this is Nav.
Go ahead, Nav.
Yeah, we just started our westward move. If you look at HIPAC, it's this leg right here, the 4th leg.
Got it. Thank you.
Let's go in video.
Bobby's a heads up. Actually, now's probably a good time. We have a request to zoom in next time we get a patch of shrimp to see if we can see more than one species. Paul, you're the one with the least delay in time, so if you see anything, just swing out, or if you want us to move the vehicle around. I can see a pink shrimp just off to the left there, coming into the center of the field of view now. Can we zoom in on those 2 dark shrimp?
Can we come wide actually first video?
Oh.
Do you want to zoom from Sirius and get a nice view from behind you, Bobby?
No, you can if you want. Let me just get in position here again on these shrimp. I can't hear you, Dave.
Yeah, when you have time, don't be afraid to go in and set the vehicle down and
Okay.
stabilize.
I wasn't sure if we had time to do that, but I will go ahead and try that now.
You got
Yeah, I
time.
mean, if you're out front and you're waiting for the ship and you can set down, you know, and stabilize a little bit safely, that's a good way to get a really close-up shot that they can use.
Agreed. I just wasn't sure if we were trying that here, but I will set down.
Yeah, it looks like we have a little bit of time on these runs.
Missed it.
current.
Aerobic nav bridge.
Bridge, this is Nav.
Yes, we complete our move.
Thank you, Bridge.
Sure.
I missed my lateral.
You can have it back soon. Get through a couple dives like this.
Actually, here's something I can rest on right here.
I'm still drifting, so I'm just turning my head to follow you
Okay.
as I drift and stop.
Yeah, just holler when I need to pick up.
The ship move is over, so I'm not sure what the next step is yet.
Video. I'm in a stable situation, and we can get a zoom on this pile of shrimp here. Hold that for a sec. Let me let my head come right. Chris, this is your new pilot settling in here. I'm not hearing you.
You hearing me now?
Quite clearly.
Cool.
So when I switched out, the last intention was to get some close-ups of these shrimp. So I'm set up for that. And what would you like to see?
Well, the request from the beach is to see whether or not we can actually see more than one species. So there are some dark red shrimp in there. I've seen one or two individuals.
Right.
So it's whether we can zoom in, and what we're looking for is a color difference. Most of them are this translucent pale gray-white.
Okay, I have several in view now.
Yeah, you know, if you turn your lasers on, I can probably drive you by left and right from the lasers. How about that?
All right. Thank you, Jeff.
Lasers
My
on.
co-pilot's
There we go.
got- and
Okay,
I see one just to the right
and I think
there.
there's one just to the right of the lasers,
Yeah,
right?
going for it.
Don't zap it.
Okay,
Yeah.
video, let's get a zoom on the red shrimp, please. Hold that for a moment.
And we also have people looking for different sizes of shrimp as well, and different behaviors.
Okay, get a little more zoom
But
now.
bearing in mind we're really just doing this while waiting for the ship to catch up with us, because
Right.
today's are keeping moving.
Okay.
But that's not a bad start. And Paul, if you're on the line, feel free to drive some of this. You're the biologist out here.
You can see two species there.
He's running
That
for
one
hiding.
that's really in the bottom right of the frame looks different to me. The tail end looks different.
Okay. And maybe we can zoom out and then pan around and see what else we can see. What's that over to the left?
Panning
There's
left.
again, just above your laser spot, there's a couple of darker looking ones. I don't know if that's an age.
Chris, this is Jeff, your new co-pilot, and it seems like Sirius has come to a stop, so we're just awaiting the next ship move now.
Okay, thank you, co-pilot. I think we'll just, since we're set up now and we've taken time to get this far. Co-pilot, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now, Chris.
Okay, so since we've taken the time to set up, we'll finish just having a quick look here, and then we'll get back moving again, if that's okay.
Roger that.
Do we have a few minutes to hang out? The ship's still moving, presumably.
I think the ship move is finished. Yeah, ship move is finished. And Sirius has caught up, so we're all stationary.
Very good, thank you.
So, Chris, I'm in a stable position for close-up work at this point. If there's anything more that we want to see in high detail, just sing out.
I think if from here we can just pan up to the right a little.
Right.
Just track through this stuff. Nice and slowly. Those dark shrimp on the right, bottom right, are the ones we looked at before. And then anything further up to the right from there that's worth looking at?
Coming up.
Yep. I don't think I see anything else that's different. People on the...
Here's some...
What are those?
Let's get some more zoom here, video. That shrimp in the dark looks quite different. He's got some green coloration there. Or she, or it.
You can see the eyes quite clearly, so
It's the
that's
only one that
definitely
I've seen
a
that's
separate species.
got that green.
Yeah, what's that thing on the right-hand side? This is like a green bulge on the... I have no idea what that is.
It's the smartest shrimp in the village.
I think it's a shrimp, and that may well be the liver or the gonads on its back.
Like a regular, just deep sea shrimp, as opposed to a hydrothermal shrimp?
Quite sure what you mean about regular deep sea shrimp, but yeah. What it does is it's got its back well arched over, and so it's almost doing a back somersault. And the greeny blue I can see is either the digestive gland, or might even be, it's that colour, I suspect it's a digestive gland.
Okay. Navigator, can we drop a waypoint here, please?
Sure thing.
And I believe this should be waypoint 6, is that right? MCR 006?
That is correct.
Thanks, John. That is John, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, video, let's come out a little bit more and I'll do some more looking around here.
And actually, you know what? Let's actually lift off bottom here and get back on with the the survey. Thanks to the guys for the zooms there, but I think that's enough to know whether we're going to come back here or we can decide later on whether this remains an exciting place or whether it's just one more shrimp patch by the time we finish the whole survey.
Right, Chris. Thanks, video.
So we're at the end of line. Navigator, this watch leader.
Go ahead, watch leader.
If I understand correctly, we're at the end of line 4.
That is correct.
Okay, we would like to get going on line 5 whenever you're ready, please.
Copy that.
John, what's that line going to be?
It's going to be a move 60 meters due south.
60
Due
due south. Well,
Chris, is that a huge hole there?
well, okay.
That is a huge hole right in front of us there. So the vehicle is heading 133 degrees, so it's looking to the southeast.
This is ROV nav.
ROV's at a depth of 2296 meters.
Yes, go ahead.
And that orifice, if you look at the 10 meter laser scale, that's about a 1 meter wide orifice with diffuse flow coming out of it.
Due south at 0.2 knots and 60 meters, please.
All right, 60 meters. 60 meters, 180 degrees at 0.2 knots.
That's correct.
Starting now.
Thank you, Rich.
I think this is, from our location, we should be to the northeast of the main spire. So this should be a new hole in the ground we're looking at, and the line we're about to do should take us down the west side of the spire. Yeah, sure. Let's do that if we've got time to do that. So we're starting at vehicle depth of 2293 meters and we're heading up. Pilot, can I just check, is the camera looking straight out or is it inclined downwards? Thank you. So we're heading south, the ROV's on the side of the spire. The temperature here is still 4.1 degrees, I just called that up. It's on a different screens, I keep forgetting to look at that when we're actually going through diffuse flow. I can either look at that or the web chat, but not both at the same time. But from memory, but I can check this overnight, 4 degrees is about standard for the temperatures around here. And what you can see in Sirius there, I mean, this is from the depth of the ROV at 2291. That's consistent with this just still being the same main spire, and we're just coming down a different side of it now. Eventually, as we move on through the survey, as the day progresses, we'll get wider and wider out in the spiral. We won't keep seeing the same ground twice.
to drop a waypoint here, please?
No, just finishing the first lap around the original spire. If you look on the sonar, this is the only game in town, and we're at the shallowest point we've been, the 2290. So the ROV is now down at 2299 meters. So we've come down about 7 meters from the top of the spire. And the vehicle is heading 053 degrees, so it's looking to the northeast. So we're basically on the southwest side of the spire. And you can see that Sirius is heading south. So if you look at Sirius, you can see little Herc's headlights.
RV nav is
Back
Rich.
down to the bottom left. The spire's in the bottom left.
Go
That's
ahead, Rich.
basically the
About
main
15
central
meters,
spire
or
we
about
saw at the
2.5
start of the
minutes from
dive.
the end of this move.
And this is
Thank
us
you very much.
heading south, coming down the west side of that. Another patch of shrimp coming up ahead of us. And more diffuse flow here as well. No, we want to just keep moving here, I think. Thank you. But to everybody listening online, this is a live update from the NOAA ship Okeanos Explorer. This is the science team lead, Chris German. The local time aboard the EX is 11:40. We're currently conducting ROV operations at the Damm hydrothermal field on Mount Dent. Operations are being conducted in waters within the Cayman Islands Exclusive Economic Zone. The ship's current heading is 045 degrees, and our location is 18 degrees 22.61 minutes north, 81 degrees 47.87 minutes west. ROV operations will continue throughout the day. Thanks very much. The good news here, guys, is we should be that much further south. We're basically going to be one line further south than the line we did before coming through here, so we should be further and further out of harm's way as the day goes on. I hesitate. Okay, so we are at a vehicle depth of 2319 meters. We are heading east. Vehicle is facing northeast on 045 degrees. We're looking at a whole bunch of rubble. Taylor's is probably the right answer for that. A lot of yellow-brown discoloration. Again, the angularity of this stuff. I'm still inclined to think that it's sulfide, but I'm still ready to be wrong as well. So far, till the next exciting bit. So yeah, here we are, basically heading over sulfide rubble. We are at a depth of 2324, so we're about 25-30 meters deeper than we were at the start of the dive when we were up at 2292. We're heading east along the south side of this mountain, so that's 30 meters of, and this coloration and these blocks still look like an awful lot of sulfide rubble. So that suggests there's basically a pile, 30 meters, what's that, about 100 feet taller than we are now, and we haven't got to the bottom of it. If you look on the ROV feed, you can see the hill just sloping away out of sight down to the right. The vehicle just panning around. It's on 080 degrees heading right now. And you can see down to the, that's basically looking south, is just downhill all the way. And we're going to find out later in the dive just how deep that goes.
ROV nav, this is the bridge.
Go ahead, bridge.
Yeah, the ship is all stopped.
Thank you very much.
But they're tiny, right?
They look a little like lepidodrilids.
What's that in common language? Mussels?
Limpic gastropods.
Gastropod. Okay, let's have a biologist put something in the event log of what we're looking at right there.
But as we get closer, they look like the two halves of, or two valves of a bivalve. Any comments from the other biologists?
And from the lasers, they were actually, those two halves are less than 10 centimeters apart to give an idea of scale. So those aren't very big. Okay, thanks guys. I think that's enough zoom to have looked at that. Go about your business, but cool. I think we've seen, I think Diva has said that's a Galatheid carapace. Is that right? And can we get the laser spots on
Yeah,
just
I agree.
briefly for scale? So that's what 10 centimeters looks like. Those two red dots are 10 centimeters apart. These are tiny little shells on the seafloor. But the fact they're nice and white means they show out beautifully against the rocks. Okay, thanks guys. Let's keep on with the survey. Two, 338 meters water depth. Sirius is at a depth of 2327. then heading north over more sulfide. Is that a Galathed in the top left corner? Something little white animal in the little herc feed. Looks like a little zoacid fish off to the left, is that right? It's quite good stuff now as well. Okay, so we're just spinning the ROV back around to head north. And yeah, I think just about every line we do is going to go up over one of the shoulders if it's a big conical mound, so it'll be up and then down on each line, and just at some point it's going to flatten out. But all this stuff at the moment is all just, I think, is all metal sulfide precipitate, so it's just a giant ore deposit is one way of looking at it. But there'll be gold in there, platinum. If it is sulfides, it's probably mostly like things like copper and zinc. Even the copper prices today will make a chunk of that valuable. But I think the telltale, the yellow coloration.
Yes.
So tell me that's the sort of iron oxidizing away. So it's basically it's rotting away and giving that yellow color. If this was rocks with manganese coating, if it was like lavas, for example, rather than sulfide, I would expect it to be more to have like a darker coating. The manganese oxide would be almost black on the outside. So this yellow coloration that we see kind of pervasively, little edges everywhere, makes me think this is all, the whole thing is sulfide. That's either a really fast-moving Galathed or that's its friend.
I don't know if we have time to stop here.
Oh no, it's okay.
Yeah.
Our guys have time to actually note that Today's not a stopping day. Today's a cover the ground day.
Yep. Ooh. Don't want to push out too far. Can you maybe zoom in on the sonar? Not the camera, sorry. Seems like everything is close to us. Oh yeah. Just a little hole there. Thank you. Current setting me to the left. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, there's some pink shrimp down there.
Pilot, can we just take a look down there? Is that a little cluster of shrimp down to the bottom left?
Yeah. Roland, you want to do a quick zoom on that?
Yep, zoom would be good. Navigator, if we can drop a waypoint here, please. It's diffuse flow and shrimp, but if you just put the MCR waypoint number, we'll do the rest in the event log.
Okay. There they are. Okay. When you're ready, video.
I can see just one specimen of the dark red shrimp off to the right of that field of view as well, along with the main species we've been seeing.
Chris, there seems some very sharp drops to the right.
Oh yeah. Well, we're getting close to the, well, the ship stopped, so Sierra should stop soon. Yeah. All right, coming up.
So here we are. Is that another marker down to the left?
I think it might be. Yeah, could you do a quick zoom, Roland? Yep. That is.
Okay, so
Okay.
it's probably worth us dropping a waypoint here as well, just so we can cross-reference
I
that.
think this is the same as the last waypoint.
Oh, it is with that far, with that close?
Yeah, all we did was turn from north to west.
Oh, okay.
So it's the same shrimp field.
All right, I'll make a note of that in the log. But this is different from when we saw the other British marker before, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I don't see anything on this side.
Nope, don't see any marking or anything.
Is it just a bucket lid?
I'm not sure what it is, but typically people put a number on it or cut a hole in the lid so you can actually get the stencil of the... Yeah. They're nice and buoyant and they show up from a distance.
How's our separation
All
now,
right.
Tom? Okay.
Well, this isn't essential, guys. If we let's not hold
Okay.
ourselves up to do this. If it would have been easy, it would have been a neat thing to just to absolutely confirm the site, but we can probably talk with Paul later on and reconstruct this from his cruise report from the cruise that was here last year.
Okay. Yes. Looks like the British flag.
I was wondering if they actually had serial numbers, like whether they'd marked them 1 and 2, stuff like that, which would help us cross-reference.
Oh, come on. No, I don't see any numbers, just the flag.
Just the flag, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Sure, quick zoom.
Sorry, guys. We could have guessed it was the...
Yep.
Yep, that's it. Okay.
Okay. Okay,
So-
moving to the west.
Thank you, guys.
RV nav bridge.
Okay, we have something biologically interesting coming up on our screens right here. And as a geologist and a chemist, I'm completely ill-equipped to tell you what that is, but we'll await an update through the message board any minute now from one of our tame biologists that we have on the line.
Video, could we try a zoom here?
And we have a consensus, ladies and gentlemen. We are looking at a brittle star or ophiuroid, according to our experts that we have caged in the back of the room.
An ophiuroid. Very good. Yeah, you can do a tighter zoom in the center and then can move on. Not really facing it well, but it's pretty good. Okay.
Okay, we've done a Brisingid sea star, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we've been looking at.
Thank you, video.
I think some of our guys were eating lunch and they couldn't get to the keyboard fast enough.
All right. Oh yeah, you're looking south at me. I'll continue west.
And just to correct that on the tape, so it wasn't an ophiuroid, that would be an asteroid with the common name Brisingid sea star. So we're at the end of the 8th survey line for the ship now. Sirius is just catching up with the ship. Little Herc is at a depth of 2315 meters, currently facing south, so it's basically looking down the west side of the sulfide mound. And a very high concentration of particles, suspended particulates in the water column here. I'm getting the impression, but I'll have to check this, that there's more particulate on the north side than the south side of the mound, but that may just be a function that as we spiral outwards we're going further downhill, so there's just more stuff is sinking down into the water column from the hilltop. So we're just starting.
Go ahead.
Line
90 meters, 180 degrees, 0.2 knots.
90 meters, due south,
We're going to be heading
0.2.
due south here down the west
Starting
side
now.
of the mound. This is our second spiral outwards, coming towards the end of the second spiral out. And what we can see here is not only are we deeper here, the vehicle's down at 2316 meters compared to a starting depth of 2292 at the start of the spiral. But here we can still see these large angular blocks, the order of a meter across in some places, or certainly tens of centimeters. But there's a lot more of a sediment filling in the space as well. It's looking, I don't know, older
Copy
and
that.
quieter.
So you're about 16 meters above me. What's your altitude's 35? Okay.
What we did see just now, to see if the pilot can actually swing the ROV back round to have a look back at it, was round to our left, was a tall thumb-like structure sticking up from the seafloor. Oh, it's escaped us.
There it is.
Way back around, there we go. And that thing's probably a meter or two high. Now the question then is whether that's a boulder that's rolled down from the top of the hill, or whether it may have been a site of an active fluid flow itself. Its morphology, it could almost have been a chimney itself sticking up out of the side of the mound. Although on this steep slope, it's hard to believe anything would actually last there very long without getting knocked down. Gravity is going to have its way down here at the bottom of the ocean just like it does on land.
Hi, Paul. My name's Dave. I'll be your pilot today. All right.
Okay, as you can see, folks, we're moving off towards the east, and lots of looks like talus slope to me as a non-biologist.
Right. I'm gonna zigzag up and down the hill here while you get going this way.
That's just fine.
I see something white here. I'm going to attempt to get a closer look.
I think it might be interesting to know this looks quite an inhospitable terrain, and one wonders if it's a function of the chemical constituents of the substratum, or whether it is a function of this is a very mobile sediment and continually rolling downhill or shifting downhill by sliding.
I got some more lighter colored material in the distance.
Okay, let's go towards it.
I have a fish upper left.
Looks like another patch of shrimp. I think that would be useful. Yes, please. Yes, please. This patch seems quite isolated from the others and quite some distance.
Yeah, just stay east and I will wander hither and yon in your field of view. Any more interest here, Paul?
Nope.
Right, moving on.
That looks a bit like a sedimentary chute. Seen those down the sides of the Bahamas and down canyons where sediment is almost continually going down.
What's your down angle, Jeff? Okay, let me get to the top of this and scoot out again. Just pick up the pace a little bit here. Looks like there might be an overhang there. Yeah, here it comes. Spire in the distance.
Nav, bridge. The ship's at all stop.
Thank you.
Nothing happening here.
Very dead.
Thanks, Nav. Let's get this tether away from here.
Pilot, can we zoom in on the green rocks, please?
Green rocks, where on my screen?
That's a good point.
Where in my screen, Paul?
Hey, I'm just checking.
Right. Okay. Backing up.
Yeah, it came through as a request on the event log. Oh, if we can just back up slightly. We're backing up, folks, to see if we can find the On the right, green brown rocks. I guess if you go, yeah, there we go. Go
Right
slightly
up.
forward now. I think those big boulders that are now top screen.
Yeah, I think top and centre, Paul.
Center, oh dear. Top center of the screen.
Right, pushing in.
Go forward a bit, please.
Yeah.
That looks great to me. Slightly to the left. Hope that's okay for you, Bobby.
Do we need any
Okay.
macro?
Oh, that's fine. Thanks very much. No, that was fine.
Alrighty. I see the white stringy things, and I must go past them and then turn to look.
Ah. Yeah, those we want to look at.
Right, setting up. Look like empty worm cases.
These look like empty worm cases. They also look like a nemertean called Parpalasia we find in Antarctica, but I doubt if they've got this far north.
Gonna try to touch down and get a close up here.
Yep, they look like tubes. Yeah, they're tubes. They're vestimentiferen tubes. Tim, you agree?
Okay, we're perched. Video good for zoom.
And for a geologist, Paul, I mean, what's your
somebody's still
clearest known
home
neighbour
here.
to those, do you think? Are they more like
Stand by.
EPR tube worms, or are we talking cold seep type worms?
They look coldy CP to me. Oh, that looks like a bivalve. Wow.
This might be just a coincidental combination here, Paul. I'll take a look at another one in a minute. Okay, let's zoom back out, Rolly, and so hold that. Gonna go down slightly to the right. Let's zoom back in. Oops, sorry about that.
Did we get a waypoint here yet, Paul?
No, we're going to get one. We'll have a waypoint, please. This will be waypoint 10.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah, I'm right on it. All right, let's come back out a ways. There's one right at my feet, poorly lit. Here we go.
I think that's a really interesting find, suggesting there might have been vestimentiferans here, and the fact the tubes haven't dissolved. Maybe there's some live ones around somewhere. Let's keep looking.
Okay, let's go full wide. It's time to pick up and move. All right, thank you. All right, going up the hill. Roger that.
Oh, pink jobby.
Some biology.
Looks like it. Let's go and have a look.
All right. I'm going to have to jockey for position here.
Yeah.
We're okay for a zoom on Little Herc here.
Very nice asteroid.
Just kind of floating by here, Paul.
That's fine.
All right. Did
That's
you get an ID?
It's a sea star.
All right.
You need it in your hand to really determine what it is. That's really nice. So fantastic. Can somebody tell me what the camera angle is?
So you've come west to look at me. I need to run over this way to get north. Yeah. Yeah, understood.
How do I find out the camera angle?
Yeah, we got another interesting area of possibly shrimp here. Yeah, I'm going to work this.
Yeah. Can we have a waypoint here as well, please? This will be waypoint 11.
Just let me know when it's time to go, Jeff. Okay. Okay. Getting a little lift off the plume here.
Can that one that's walking in the top left, the one talking in the top left of the screen? Can we go and have a look at that one? That's got that green patch on the back.
Yeah, let me find myself a perch here.
Okay, doke. I'm interested to see if they, if that is digestive gland or whether it really is gonads. They are gonads, a really odd colour. Oh,
That was my prop wash. Okay. Yep, yeah, here he is, Paul. I can't set down.
Can you zoom down straight on the one in the middle of the screen?
Yeah, video, let's get a quick zoom
Yeah,
there.
cool.
Hold that.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Thank you.
I have to think on this one. Not quite sure what that is.
And look between the rocks. There's some other creature down there.
Nav, Ridge.
Oh, that's fish's tail.
Yeah. 13 or 12 and a half meters from the end of the move.
Thank you.
Also,
Okay,
do we
we've
know
got to
what time we're
migrate
gonna
on
pick
as
off
the
the bottom?
time's limited.
Full
Sorry,
wide
repeat that.
video.
Do you know what time we're going to pick up off the bottom?
That's really nice.
Probably a little bit after 2.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I'm going to get out of here just as soon as I can. Thanks, Rolly.
Okay, folks, not quite halfway up the east side yet.
Some more staining. Lone shrimp.
RV Nav, Bridge.
Go ahead.
Ships all stop.
Thank you.
Can we zoom in on that pale discoloration, please, Paul?
Can we zoom in on that patch, please, and have a look?
Yeah. It's steeper than I thought. Paul,
okay.
You fuss around here for a moment and get positioned.
Log it as 12. Yeah, once we've zoomed in for Chris to have a look, Bobby wants us to zoom out so we can have a wide angle look.
Okay, can we, if you just can tell me the vehicle depth and the heading just now, and then zoom out, we'll be fine.
Chris, the heading is of Hercules is 225, and the depth of Hercules is 2323. The total depth is 2342.
Thank you.
I'm interested in seeing what this is. Oh, that looks like bacteria. Now, what is that?
Okay, video, we can zoom in a bit. I've perched.
Okay, zooming in, folks. Now, they do look like lots of little gastropods. Yes. Cythermia? Cindy? Lovely. Can we just zoom out just a little bit, please? Oh, and a different shrimp. There's 3 shrimp types we've seen now. The eyes aren't big on this one. Thank you. Stop. Chris, is that what you wanted? Or do you want to pan slightly to the left?
Sorry, Paul, I had a mouthful of lunch.
Oh.
Just a little to the left is good, but I was just really just trying to confirm that grey stuff was actually relatively fresh sulfide mineral.
Yeah. Okay,
So-
can we zoom out now so Bobby can see it zoomed out?
Yeah, full wide video.
Bobby, do you want to pan in any different any particular direction?
Thanks, Rolly.
No, just out. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Quick fly round, please.
Right.
And are the particles we're seeing prop wash, or is that really suspended bugs?
I thought they were coming into suspension before we got near it.
I really put myself in a hole there. Yeah. Yeah, I just want to... It's to my left. The current carried me past before I could plant myself. So I'm going to go up here and then drift across.
Hi, Paul. Can you check with the nav that we haven't moved significantly from waypoint 12?
Damm. The nav's already told me.
Very good, thank you.
Okay, folks, just getting ready. We're going to be moving off westwards now, along the northern edge of the vent site. This patch further out seems quite different, you know, this sort of fine sprinkling of what looks like snow or heavy frost. Presumably is that small gastropod. Bobby, we're headed westwards. No, I'm a tints confused here. I didn't think we were that far north, but we seem to be going westwards now. But I thought there was an offset here or something. We haven't. So we're still moving north. Okay. Ah, thank you.
You can get it going anytime you want, Brian. I'll work this until it's time to go.
Go ahead.
90 meters, 270 degrees, 0.2 knots.
90 meters due west, 0.2 knots. Starting now.
Okay, folks, we're about to head off to the west. The depth of the Little Herc is 2320.
Come right for you.
Water depth is 2348. The heading is coming round to about 322.
Slope looking south.
Can we just zoom in on those white patches to see if they are the small gastropods?
Yes.
Because I think it'd be worth having a waypoint. I think they are. Yes, can we have a waypoint? This would be 14. Nav, would it be waypoint 14?
Okay, video, let's get a zoom here. Hold that. Add more.
That's fine. I can't see any.
No. Oops, too close. No, not gastropods. Full
Not
wide.
there.
Getting a little too far around the bend here.
Yeah, okay, we'll leave it.
I checked
Yeah,
back,
we're
Paul.
gonna
I
have to
don't think we've had a
climb up
waypoint
around
since
the
12,
shoulder
so
here.
13 would be the next one when you do drop one.
I'm gonna come back and light it up for you, Jeff. Light it up for you, because I think you're getting ready to run into this mountain right here. I'm just gonna light up what's in front of you here. Crabs. Up, got another vent. Yeah, it's right at the top of this feature. There's a fairly large vent area here.
Nav, when we
Tilt
get there,
down.
we would definitely like a waypoint, please.
Extensive. Copy
Could you
that.
please drop a waypoint here, please?
Alright, I'm gonna move off to my right. I'm gonna head south and light up the next peak.
This is a live update from the NOAA ship Okeanos Explorer. This is Paul Tyler, minder to Chris German. The local time aboard the EX is 13:55. We are currently conducting ROV operations at the Von Damm hydrothermal vent site on Mount Dent. Operations are being conducted in waters within the Cayman Islands exclusive economic zone. The ship's current heading is 040 degrees and the location is 18 degrees 22.65 minutes north, 81 degrees 47.87 minutes west. ROV operations will continue through the afternoon.
See it. Now that's a picture. Right. Saw it. Do we have any interest in seeing the marker up close?
Nav, did you say that was 13 or 14 as a waypoint? Thank you.
Okay.
We couldn't hear what Nav said then, Paul. Can you let us know?
Say again?
Nav,
We
Rich.
couldn't hear what Nav said. Was that
Oh,
marker 13 or 14?
That's 14.
Go ahead, Bridge.
17 meters.
Thanks.
Question being asked, have we been here before today?
From the navigation, that should be impossible. We're always working further and further outward. You could ask the navigation for a range and bearing to waypoint 1 right now, and that'll tell us where we were, because waypoint 1 was the central spire.
I'll do that. That's a good idea, Chris. Nav, what's the range and bearing to waypoint 1 from here? Thank you. But I think I saw the brown plastic lid just there.
Yeah, it's just off to your right, Paul. I think I saw it too.
Yeah. Jameson.
Paul, we had a question from Diva earlier. Do you know how many markers Bram may have dropped?
1.
Interesting, because we've seen
Okay,
more than...
where are we going
seen
next?
something more than once.
Or where should I be?
Okeanos, this is OSEC. We're pretty sure that only one marker was dropped.
Thank you.
Roger that.
Uh-huh. Well, I don't seem to be able to find anything to put my skid against.
Well, it's too far to the left of you right now. So back just a hair, turn left, drive over, bump the rock, pivot around that corner to the skid. That's far enough back. Left.
Okay.
Because you have no lateral, you're going to have to turn 90 degrees to the left, drive halfway over to the rock, down on the corner. And video, yeah, let's zoom in a little bit so we can coach you here.
That's a Gorgonian, that's for sure.
Do we need any macro work, or are we okay with it as small?
If it's too much of a hassle, let's carry on and do the survey as plan A. That's a Gorgonian. I was just checking to make sure it wasn't Antipytharian.
Okay. Go ahead, follow. Yeah, well, that's a bit wide on that surface.
ROV nav?
Go ahead.
Yes, can I call on a ship move 180 degrees for 120 meters at 0.2 knots?
Okay, 120 meters, 180 degrees due south, 0.2 knots.
That is correct. Thank
Starting
you.
now.
Copy that. Copy that.
Thank
My
you.
head is south.
We're now heading south, folks, on the west side of the vent site. As you notice, it looks more sedimentation, fine sediment overlying the hydrothermal deposits here. Can we go in and look, see if that's a tube?
It's another coral.
Yeah.
What's that? The tube. Oh, bottom. Okay, got it.
I have to admit, not every time. No, that's dead coral by the looks of it. Dead gorgonian. Can we? That's dead gorgonian. Can we carry on, please? No, we think that's a dead or part of a dead gorgonian. So we're going to move on, please.
Backing up.
Okay, could the geologists tell us what they think about the rocks we're finding here, please? Crew want to know. Say again?
Hi, John.
Okay, I'll give it a go. So we're looking at angular fragments. We see yellow discoloration. From the size of the lasers, we can see these things are about 1 meter across. The yellow discoloration suggests to me that this is still sulfidic material.
Yeah, down towards the bottom of the left-hand screen. Bobby, is that the sort of stuff you want to look at? She's happy with that.
That's good. All right.
So if we go and have a good look.
Yeah, if we could zoom in close on that stuff, that would be great.
We're getting a request for zoom in, please.
Go ahead, video. You can zoom in here. We'll just go on the fly. Oh, above that rock? Like in here?
Yeah, just work your way around this area. Bobby, is that satisfying you? I think to the left, maybe.
One more to the left?
Yeah, just that's sort of sediment. It's back into some odd coloration there.
I think I want to start to back out of here a little bit. Can you take me out wide, Rolly? Oh, okay. Been drifting up.
That whole boulder that's right in the middle of the screen. There's two. One looks so it's got eyes and a nose.
Yes.
That might be nice to go and have a good look at for Bobby.
Okay.
Now, how far to the end of this line? Thank you very much. If we could zoom in, please, that would be great.
Go ahead and zoom in, Rolly.
And if you can pan right,
Panning right.
and maybe come out just a tints. That's lovely. Oh, that's lovely. Okay, for the last 5 minutes, can we continue down the transect, please?
Copy that. Full wide, Rolly.
It looks a white patch just ahead.
Got it. Okay.
Nav, when we get there, can we have a marker, please?
Okay. Moving along.
We're continually moving because we're about to come to the end of the dive, folks, so we're not stopping to look at the white patch, and we want to make it to the end of the transect. Let's just go down and have a close look at the seabed where we are.
All right. Setting down.
Okay, folks, we have 1 minute. I've asked to just go down and have a good look at the seabed, close up where we are. 60 seconds starting now. This looks as though this is for the geologists. Oh, there's a squall. Can we zoom in and just have a look a bit closer?
Okay, Rolly, zoom in.
And zoom out a bit, please.
Zoom out.
Stop there. Oh, stop there. Bobby, does that help? Can you see things that are useful? Okay, I think we're done. Thanks, folks.
Full wide, Rolly. How do you want to set this up, John?
Okay, folks, we're just preparing to leave the seabed. There's be some communication between the pilots and the bridge, and then we'll be leaving the seabed for the transit to the service.
Okay. Yep.
Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to talking to you tomorrow.
Actually, before that, Paul, just to let everybody know, what we're actually going to want to do is have a separate science conference call on the way up, which will start in about 1 hour from now at 3:30 ship's time, 4:30 in Rhode Island.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yes,
so we'll get everybody back on the
Chris,
line then.
I've got 20 people talking over you.
To get off the bottom at the moment.
Folks, there'll be a conference call with Chris in about an hour's time.
Could you stand by? I have a little bit of air traffic.
Okay.
You confirm if you're going to be doing that over RTS or if you're going to be doing, or just making a phone call?
That will be done over RTS from the forward lounge, so outside of the control room, but we're also going to provide a number if anybody requests it for dial-in.
Yeah, so we have 16, 17 at 50 meters.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Prediction.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, Chris, will you type something up to go into the event log?
Well, John, you go ahead and do your
Doing
thing,
that now, Paul.
and then get me figured out, I guess.
And zoom out a bit, please.
Zoom out.
Stop there. Oh, stop there. Bobby, does that help? Can you see things that are useful?
Should start heading up.
Okay, I think we're done. Thanks, folks.
Full wide, Rolly.
I'll contact the bridge that we're going out bottom.
How do you want to set this up, John?
Okay, folks, we're just preparing to leave the seabed. There's be some communication between the pilots and the bridge, and then we'll be leaving the seabed for the transit to the service.
Need to take out.
Okay.
Maybe you can come off the floor a little bit.
Yep.
Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to talking to you tomorrow.
Actually, before that, Paul, just to let everybody know, what we're actually going to want to do is have a separate science conference call on the way up, which will start in about 1 hour from now at 3:30 ship's time, 4:30 in Rhode Island.
Go ahead.
Okay.
So we'll get everybody back on the
Chris,
line then.
I've got 20 people talking over you.
To get off the bottom at the moment.
Folks, there'll be a conference call with Chris in about an hour's
Could
time.
you stand by? I have a little bit of air traffic.
Okay.
Could you confirm if you're going to be doing that over RTS or if you're going to be doing, or just making a phone call?
That will be done over RTS from the forward lounge, so outside of the control room, but we're also going to provide a number if anybody requests it for dial-in.
Yeah, so we have
Excellent, thank you.
16, 17 at 50 meters.
Yeah, that's what I was
my
thinking.
Prediction.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, Chris, will you type something up to go into the event log?
Yeah.
Well, John, you go ahead and do your
Doing
thing.
that now.
So, John.
Yes.
You should flip over to the Bender page on the Sirio side of things there. Click again. There you go. Insulation resistance is the number we care about when we're doing recoveries.
Okay.
And that 50 gig ohms is a happy number.
Sounds good.
We're done with your tether cam.
Copy that.
Okay, you can take power off.
Pilot copies, power coming off.